learned that the resurrection was an event, a day marked on the calendar, a body that rose, a stone that rolled, witnesses who ran, and you believed, or doubted, but you always thought it was about that an oscillated, distant, historical occurrence, something that happened to him, not to you. But what if the resurrection was never just about Jesus? What if it was from the beginning about you too? What if what was hidden wasn't the body, but the meaning? What if the deepest truth wasn't in the empty tomb, but in the emptiness within you that was never filled because you searched outside for what was always inside? Breathe, because what I'm about to show you now isn't a new interpretation. It's a remembrance, something your soul already knows, but your mind forgot to hear. You were taught to look back, to an event that happened 2,000 years ago, to a man who died and returned. And in that looking back, you became a spectator, observer, someone who waits, someone who believes in something that happened far from you, before you, without you. But resurrection isn't a memory. It's not a historical fact you must defend or deny. Resurrection is a state, an awakening, a process that happens within you now, in this moment, as you read these words. And if you haven't felt it yet, it's not because you're unworthy. It's because no one told you that the door has always been open, that the stone has already been removed, that the tomb is already empty, and that the body that must resurrect is yours. There was a time when the first followers didn't speak of resurrection as an external miracle. They lived it, they felt it, they experienced the inner transformation that the death of ego and rebirth of consciousness brought. Resurrection was the greatest symbol of something every human being carries as potential, the capacity to die to the false and be reborn to the true, to leave behind the identity constructed by fear, guilt, separation, and emerges as what they always were, light, presence, formless love. But something happened. Over time, with institutionalization, with fear of the power each individual carries when awakened, resurrection was transformed into doctrine, into something you must believe, but not live, into something that happened to him, but will never happen to you. And so, the truth was veiled, not destroyed, just hidden, buried, awaiting the moment when you would be ready to roll away the stone. So let's go. Let's roll away the stone together, not with hands, but with consciousness. Let's enter the tomb, not his, yours, because that's where the mystery is. That's where the sleeping body lies. That's where life waits to emerge. Close your eyes for a moment. It doesn't need to be long, just enough to feel. Feel the weight of your body in the chair, in bed, wherever you are. Feel the breath entering, leaving, entering, leaving. You are alive, but are you awake? Or are you living as one already dead? As one who carries a body but forgot the soul? As one who breathes but doesn't feel? Resurrection begins here, in this perception, in this recognition, that you have been living in a tomb made of beliefs, of fears, of identities that aren't yours, of voices that aren't your voice, of pains you carry as if they were your essence, but they're not. And it's time to leave. The resurrection of Jesus wasn't about the physical body returning to life. It was about consciousness transcending death. It was about showing that what you really are cannot die, cannot be destroyed, cannot be contained in a tomb, in a body, in a story. The body on the cross represented the ego, the woman identity, the uvi that clings, that suffers, that fears, that separates, that judges, that dies. And when it died, it wasn't a tragedy. It was a liberation. It was the moment when form surrendered to the formless, when the limited gave itself to the unlimited, when the human marriage with the divine. And 3 days later, what emerged wasn't the same body. It wasn't the same body. It wasn't the same body. It wasn't the same identity. It was something beyond. It was pure consciousness, presence, the Christ. Not the man Jesus, but the state of being he always was, that he always taught, that he always invited you to recognize in yourself. Do you understand? Resurrection isn't about Jesus returning. It's about you awakening. It's about realizing you're not the body you carry, not the story you tell, not the past you lament, not the future you fear. You are the consciousness that observes all of this. You are the presence that exists before thought. You are the light that shines even when you forget to look. And that light never died. It was just covered by layers of conditioning, of trauma, of belief, of separation. And resurrection is the process of removing these layers, of rolling away the stone, of leaving the tomb, of seeing the light of dawn, of feeling the wind on your face, of realizing you were never dead, or just asleep. Breathe again, deeper this time. Feel the air entering through your nostrils, descending through your throat, filling your lungs, expanding your chest, and then release slowly, completely. This simple act, this conscious breath, is resurrection. It's bringing life where there was automatism. It's bringing presence where there was absence. It's bringing light where there was darkness. With each breath, you are being reborn. With each moment of presence, you are resurrecting. It's not something that will happen one day. It's something that is happening now, always here, always in you. Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. He didn't say, I have the resurrection. He didn't say, I will make the resurrection. He said, I am, present tense, a state of being. And when he said this, he wasn't speaking only of himself. He was revealing the truth about all of us, because the I am doesn't belong to one person. It belongs to consciousness, to presence, to the divine that dwells in every being. When you say Ein, you are touching the same source, the same truth, the same resurrection. You are the resurrection. You are the life. Not because you did something, not because you deserve it, but because that's what you are. It's your nature, it's your essence, it's what never changed, even when everything around you changed. But you forgot. We all forgot. We were taught to look outside, to seek salvation in doctrines, in rituals, in intermediaries, in distant figures. We were taught we need someone to save us, something to redeem us, an external event to free us. And while we believe this, we remain in the tomb, waiting, praying, pleading. But the truth is that no one can resurrect you. No one can roll away your stone. No one can roll away your stone. No one can awaken you. This is something only you can do. Not because you're strong, because you are life itself, and life cannot remain dead. It always finds a way back, always emerges, always is reborn. The empty tomb isn't historical proof, it's a spiritual symbol. It's the representation of what happens when you stop looking outside and look within, when you stop seeking the divine in heaven and find it in your heart, when you stop waiting for a savior and realize that salvation is a state of consciousness, not a future event. The tomb is empty because what you seek isn't there, never was. You were looking in the wrong place. You were looking for a body, but what resurrected was consciousness. You were looking for a person, but what emerged was presence. You were looking for Jesus, but what you found was the Christ. And the Christ isn't a man, it's a state, an awakening, a union, a realization that there is no separation between you and the divine, between you and life, between you and love. And now, I want you to feel this. Don't just understand. Feel. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the beating, that pulse, that life. It's there, always has been, independent of your beliefs, of your doubts, of your mistakes, of your successes. The life in you never stopped, was never interrupted, was never condemned. It simply is. And while it is, you have the opportunity to resurrect, to awaken, to remember, to return home, not a physical home, but the home of consciousness, the place where you always belonged, the place you never left, but forgot to feel. Resurrection isn't about proving something happened. It's about realizing something is happening. Now, in you, the old identity is dying. The clinging ego is being crucified. The limiting beliefs are being dissolved. And what's emerging is the true you, the one who was always there, hidden beneath the layers of conditioning. The one who is free, who is whole, who is love, who is light, who is light. This is the resurrected body, not a body of flesh that walks again, but a state of being that transcends all limitations, that lives beyond fear, that exists beyond time, that loves beyond conditions. Jesus appeared to the disciples after the resurrection, but he appeared different. They didn't recognize him immediately. Why? Because he was no longer the same. The form had changed. The essence had expanded. What they saw wasn't the Jesus they knew, but the Christ he always was. And this is the invitation for you to also appear different, for you to also transformed, for you to also leave behind the old identity and emerge as what you always were, but never had the courage to be. Not because it's difficult, but because it's unknown, because it's vulnerable, because it requires you to release everything you thought you were to discover what you really are. And what are you really? You are not your thoughts. They come and go. You are not your emotions. They arise and disappear. You are not your body. It ages and changes. You are not your story. It's just a narrative. You are the consciousness that observes all of this. You are the presence that exists before, during, and after everything. You are the space where life happens. You are the silence where sounds emerge. You are the light where forms appear. And this consciousness, this presence, this light, never dies. It cannot die, because it wasn't born. It always was, always will be, always will be, always is. This is the truth about resurrection that few are ready to hear. Not because it's complex, but because it's too simple. It requires nothing of you, asks for no sacrifices, imposes no rules. It only invites you to look, to feel, to be present, to realize you already are what you seek, that you already are what you seek, that you already are what you desire, that you are already free, whole, complete. But you were taught you're not, that you're broken, that you need fixing, that you're lost, that you need to be found. And while you believe this, you remain in the tomb, trapped in your own mind, imprisoned in your own beliefs, waiting for an external miracle while the miracle is already happening within you. So, what do you do now? How do you resurrect? Not with effort, not with effort, not with struggle, not with rituals or dogmas. You resurrect with presence, with consciousness, with acceptance. You stop running from yourself. Stop judging. Stop resisting. and simply allow life to flow through you, allow light to shine through you, allow love to express through you. You stop being an obstacle and become a channel. Stop being a seeker and become a finder. Stop being a seeker and become a finder. Close your eyes once more. Breathe. Feel the air. Feel the body. Feel the heart. And now whisper to yourself, silently or aloud, I am the resurrection. I am the life. Not as an empty affirmation, but as a deep recognition, as a remembrance, as a return. Feel the words. Don't just say them. Feel what they evoke, the truth they carry, the freedom they offer. You're not asking, you're remembering, you're not seeking, you're being, you're not waiting, you're emerging. Now, here, in this moment. Resurrection isn't tomorrow, it's now, it's not there, it's here, it's not in him, it's in you. And when you feel this, when you really feel it, something changes. Not in the world, but in you. The burden becomes lighter, the weight dissolves, fear retreats, and what remains is peace, not the absence of challenges, but the presence of something greater, something that sustains, something that guides, something that never abandons, because it is you, not the small you, but the true you, the eternal, the infinite, the divine. Jesus didn't resurrect for you to worship him. He resurrected to show the way, to reveal the potential, to say, look, it's possible. You can too, not in the same form, not with the same symbolism, but with the same essence, with the same truth, with the same transformation. You can die to the false and be reborn to the true, can leave behind the ego and emerge as consciousness, can transcend fear and live as love, can leave the tomb and walk in the light. And this light isn't something you need to seek, it's already here, within you, shining, waiting, inviting. You just need to stop covering it, or stop denying it, or stop doubting it. You need to allow it to be seen, to be felt, to be expressed. And when you do this, when you allow it, you become the resurrection itself, not a witness to it, but the manifestation of it, not a witness to it, but someone who lives it, who breathes it, who is it. There's an ancient story that says Mary Magdalene was the first to see the resurrected Jesus, and when she saw him, she didn't recognize him. She thought he was the gardener, until he said her name, Mary, and in that moment, she knew, not because she saw the body, but because she felt the presence, because she heard the voice she knew, because she was touched by the consciousness that loved her. And this story isn't just about her. Its story isn't just about her. It's about you, about the moment when life says your name, when truth touches your heart, when consciousness awakens in you, and you finally recognize, not with the mind, but with the soul. So listen, in this moment, amid the silence between words, amid the pause between thoughts, listen, something is calling you, not with words, but with presence, not with sounds, but with feeling. It's life, it's the divine, it's love, calling you back, home, to yourself, to truth. Do you hear, or are you too busy, too distracted, too resistant? Because the call has always been there, and always will be, waiting, patiently, lovingly, until you're ready, until you stop, until you listen, until you respond. And the response doesn't need to be elaborate, doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be true. It just needs to come from the heart. It can be a whispered yes. It can be a silent tear. It can be a sigh of surrender. 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 Because in presence, everything is answered. In presence, everything is resolved. In presence, everything is resolved. Resurrection isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning. It's the moment when you stop living as if you were dead and start living as if you were alive. Truly alive. Not just breathing, but feeling. Not just existing, but being. Not just surviving, but flourishing. Or not just surviving, but flourishing. And this doesn't happen all at once. It's not an instant transformation. It's a process, an unfolding, a journey of 1,000 small awakenings, of 1,000 small deaths of the ego, of 1,000 small rebirths of the soul. And each of these moments is sacred. Each is important. Each is resurrection. So be gentle with yourself. If you still feel you're in the tomb, that's okay. The stone will be removed. If you still carry the weight, that's okay. It will be released. If you still don't see the light, that's okay. It's there, waiting. And when you're ready, when you take the next step, when you breathe the next conscious breath, resurrection will happen, not as a grand event, but as a grand event, but as a gente whisper, as a soft breeze, as a silent dawn. And you'll know, not with mental certainty, but with heart confidence, that something changed, that something emerged, that something was reborn, and that something is you. This is the truth, not hidden in ancient texts, not concealed in sacred rituals, but revealed in every breath, in every heartbeat, in every moment of presence. Resurrection isn't about the past, it's about the present. It's not about him, it's about you. It's not something you need to conquer, it's something you need to remember, something you need to recognize, something you need to be. And when you are, when you live from this truth, everything changes, not necessarily the circumstances, but the way you live them, not necessarily the world, but the way you see it. You stop being a victim and become a creator. Stop being a judge and become a witness. Stop being resistant and become accepting. And in this acceptance, in this surrender, in this presence, you find the peace you always sought, the freedom you always desired, the love that always was. So go, not away, but inward, go to the tomb, not with fear, but with courage. Roll away the stone, not with force, but with consciousness, and emerge, not expecting applause, but knowing deeply that you've been reborn, that you've resurrected, that you're alive, truly, for the first time, or perhaps for the 1,000th time. It doesn't matter. What matters is now, this moment, this breath, this presence, this you. And if these words found you, it wasn't by chance. Nothing is by chance. It was because you were ready, or almost ready, or wanting to be ready. And that's enough, because the journey begins with desire, with openness, with the willingness to see beyond the veil, to hear beyond words, to feel beyond beliefs. And you're here, reading, feeling, perhaps doubting, perhaps resisting, perhaps embracing. It doesn't matter, you're here, and that is already resurrection. So share this, not as one who preaches, but as one who whispers, not as one who convinces, but as one who invites. Share so others may also remember, so others may also roll away the stone, so others may also leave the tomb and walk in the light, not because you need to save anyone, but because light, when it shines, naturally illuminates. And when you live resurrection, you naturally invite others to live it too. not with words, but with presence, not with effort, but with being, because the greatest message isn't what you say, it's what you are. And when you are resurrection, when you are life, when you are love, the world around you feels it. And slowly, one by one, the tombs open, the stones roll, and the light returns. This is the truth about resurrection that few are ready to hear. But you heard it, and now you know, not just with the mind, but with the heart, with the soul, with your entire being. You know that resurrection isn't about him, it's about you. It's not about then, it's about now. It's not something that happened, it's something that is happening in you, through you, as you. And this changes everything, not all at once, but gradually, breath by breath, moment by moment, presence by presence. Until one day you look back and realize you're no longer who you were. You've resurrected, you've been reborn, you're alive, and life finally is lived, not as obligation, but as celebration, not as burden, but as dance, not as fear, but as love, full love, free 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 love. Because you're not just a witness to resurrection, you are the resurrection, you are the life, you are the love. And this, my friend, is the truth that few are ready to hear, but that everyone deep down already knows. Just waiting for the right moment, for the right word, for the right breath to remember, to awaken, to resurrect, and that moment is now.